Hi, it's Wendy from Worldwide Speak, and this video is going to focus on how to write an example paragraph, and this is for the English language learner. Keep watching to learn what you need in order to have all the correct pieces for the example paragraph. Okay, so what is the purpose of an example paragraph? Why are you writing one of these? What does your reader need to learn from you? Well, the purpose is to use very specific examples so that your reader has a clear understanding about your ideas on your specific topic. Maybe you're writing about your dog and how amazing your dog is at doing tricks. Maybe you're writing about your father and what a wonderful influence he is on your life. Or maybe you're writing about a specific building and why you think it is the most interesting building you've ever seen. Now, when we have the example paragraph, there are three really important parts. You have to have a clear topic sentence with a controlling idea. You have to have very specific support for this controlling idea. And last, you need a conclusion sentence. I'm going to go over each of these pieces that you need in order to have a clear and effective example paragraph. First, what is the structure of this paragraph? The first sentence is your topic sentence. It tells the reader what you're talking about and why. Then you have your reasons, and the reasons stay focused on why you're writing about this topic. They give very detailed examples to support your topic and controlling idea. Without this strong support, your paragraph will be very weak and difficult to read. And last, you have your concluding sentence, and this sentence just restates your topic sentence. Let's talk about the topic sentence in more detail. The topic sentence is the first sentence in your paragraph. It includes the topic and the controlling idea. The topic is what you're writing about, and the controlling idea is why you're writing about it, what I want you to understand about it. Here is an example. My father was an incredible role model. What am I talking about? I'm talking about my father. That's the big topic. And what I do is with the controlling idea, he was an incredible role model, I focus my paragraph. I'm going to talk about my father, but I'm going to focus on one aspect or one part of my father, and that is that he was a great role model. That's my controlling idea. That is your why I'm writing. That is what you want the reader to understand. You want the reader to understand that your father was an incredible role model. So your whole paragraph will be focused on him being a role model. Let's take a look at a couple more examples so you can understand this. Let's say we had a topic sentence like this. My dog does the most amazing tricks. Well, you're talking about your dog, that's the topic. And how are we going to focus on your dog? We need to talk about one thing, because remember, your paragraph has a controlling idea or a specific purpose. And that is that he does the most amazing tricks. So your entire paragraph will only be about the tricks your dog does. It won't be about how cute your dog is, or how loyal your dog is, or how much your dog eats. It's only going to be about the controlling idea, which is the tricks that your dog does. Let's look at another one. The bandshell in Chicago is an incredible display of modern architecture. Again, the topic, the bandshell in Chicago. The controlling idea is an incredible display of modern architecture. You're talking about the bandshell, that's your topic. And then what is it that you're going to help your reader understand? You're going to focus on the fact that this bandshell is an amazing piece of modern architecture. All of your examples are going to support and to show the reader why this is an incredible display of modern architecture. So remember, you have a topic, and then you focus your topic on one thing with your controlling idea. Now, let's talk about that support. These are your reasons. This is like the meat of your paragraph, right? This has all the good stuff. And without this meat or good stuff or details, your paragraph can be really weak. You need strong reasons and examples and details to show the reader exactly what your point is by being able to write in a way that causes the reader to get a picture in their mind of the point you're making in your writing. You state your reason, and then you follow up your reason with specific examples of what that looks like. It can be facts or anecdotes, a description, or whatever you choose to write, but that it helps the reader understand why you're writing about this topic. These details are what makes your paragraph strong and helps the reader understand exactly what you're trying to convince them of. When we have this support, we use specific words for the reasons. We use words like first, second, finally, and last. There are other transition words you can use, but why don't you start with these and use them until you're comfortable to move on to some different ones. Why don't we take a look at an example of what this support would look like if you were writing a paragraph for school? Remember, our topic sentence is, "My father was an incredible role model." For reason number 1, we're going to use the transition word first, and then we write, "He showed the value of family through his actions." Then we follow this up with a specific example and detail of what the value of family looks like, so that the reader clearly understands the point we're trying to make in this reason. I write, for example, "One time he canceled an important business meeting because I was sick. He wanted to make sure that I got the proper care needed before he left town." So the reason was he showed family values and that family was important. And then I gave you a specific example to explain how he did that. And you can make a note here that other transition words you can use for these examples are "for instance" and "to illustrate." Last, let's talk about this conclusion sentence. This is the last sentence of your paragraph. It restates or says in a different order or with different words the topic sentence and wraps up the paragraph. You need to make sure that you use a transition word to begin the sentence, such as to sum up, in short, to conclude, or in conclusion. Do you remember the topic sentence? It was, my father is an incredible role model. Now, we need to make a conclusion sentence that says the same thing, but using different words or possibly a different order. I chose to write it like this. In conclusion, as one can see from these reasons, being a mentor was truly my father's gift. It says the same thing, it just uses some different words. Instead of role model, I used mentor. It has the same connotation in English. And I also mentioned that I had used reasons to explain why he was a great mentor. And to begin the sentence, I made sure to use a transition. That is the signal to the reader that the paragraph is ending, and it makes your paper flow nicely so it's easy for the reader to read. Why don't you read this with me? My father was an incredible role model. Even though we never talked a lot about what he did, he taught me valuable life lessons. First, he showed the value of family through his actions. For example, one time he canceled an important business meeting because I was sick. He wanted to make sure that I got the proper care needed before he left town. Second, service was extremely important to him. He wanted to give back to his community. For instance, he served as a village trustee for over a decade. While in this position, he was instrumental in organizing the transfer of a federal air base that was closing into the hands of responsible local developers. Finally, my dad was always reliable. He picked us up from school each afternoon and was never late. Also, he always made sure to get up early enough so that he could cook us a hot breakfast before school. In conclusion, as one can see from these reasons, being a mentor was truly my father's gift. In this slide, I have highlighted the transition words that I used within my paragraph. For the reasons, I have first, second, and finally. And for a couple of the examples, I've used for example and for instance. These transition words are extremely important. They signal to the reader order within your paragraph, and it makes it very easy for them to read. Also, I want to emphasize again, watch your support. All of your reasons and all of your examples must always lead back to that controlling idea. I could have told you what a great athlete my father was, or how many languages he spoke, or what instruments he played, but that would not be about my controlling idea. My controlling idea was that he was a role model, and I wanted you to see why he was a role model. And all of my reasons go back to the idea that he was an incredible role model. So when I say watch your support, I mean it. Stay focused on your controlling idea with all of your reasons and all of your examples. This will give you a clear, strong, and effective example paragraph. Let's review. In our example paragraph, we begin with our clear topic sentence that has a controlling idea. And then we fill the paragraph with support about this controlling idea through reasons and detailed examples. And last, we wrap up our paragraph with our conclusion sentence that just restates the topic sentence. You can do this. I know it. Now you can write a clear and effective example paragraph. For more English resources, you can always visit our website at worldwidespeak.com. Thank you for watching this video. Good luck. I know you can do it.